Why did your DoorDash order suddenly disappear? Is it the algorithm, too many drivers, something DoorDash isn't telling you? Today, I'm exposing the real reasons your order volume has tanked, and one of them is going to shock you. I've been dashing for years now, worked multiple apps, and always just keep it real, no fluff, just facts. And the facts right now, they're not too pretty. But understanding what's happening is the first step to adapting and surviving this new DoorDash reality. So let's break it down. This first one is a big one, and in my opinion, the number one reason. There's simply too many drivers, oversaturation. Years ago, say like 2020, DoorDash went on a massive hiring spree. They needed drivers, they onboarded everyone, and it worked for them. But here's what they didn't tell you. They never stopped hiring in most markets. Now, I always used to sit in the same spot no matter what, but obviously I've adapted and changed over the years. But I went back the other day just to kind of see what it was like. Man, there were so many drivers in that one parking lot. It was honestly shocking. So now you have all these drivers in the same parking lot competing for the same orders in the same zone. And it's just not my personal observation. DoorDash actually stopped accepting new driver applications in several major markets. Let me know if this happened in yours. But why would they do that if there wasn't an oversaturation problem? They wouldn't. Here's the math. If your zone used to have like 50 drivers and gets like 500 orders per day, that's like 10 orders per driver. Simple math. Now, the same exact zone now has 150 drivers competing for maybe like 600 orders because the customer demand hasn't tripled. That's 4 orders per driver. Your income just dropped like 60%. And it has nothing to do with your performance. The worst part, DoorDash benefits from oversaturation. More drivers means faster delivery times, which means happier customers, which means more orders for the platform. But those orders get spread thinner and thinner across more and more drivers. So if you're sitting in parking lots longer than ever before, it's not you. It's math. And there are too many of us fighting for the same pie. Okay, so here's the next reason. DoorDash completely changed how they distributed orders in 2025, and most drivers have no idea it even happened. They rolled out what they call an AI-powered order matching system. Sounds all fancy, right? Well, here's what it actually means. DoorDash is now prioritizing certain drivers over others based off of multiple factors. First factor, your on-time rate. How many of you had on-time right come to your market? And this is where it gets tricky because DoorDash's definition of late is not always fair. Many drivers over the past couple months have gotten the contract violations for restaurant delays completely out of your control. But the algorithm doesn't care. If your on-time rate drops, you get fewer orders, period. Second factor, your tier status. Platinum drivers are getting priority access to higher paying orders. And maintaining those metrics means accepting orders that might not make financial sense, which puts you in a catch-22 situation. Third factor, your acceptance rate. Now, DoorDash says acceptance rates doesn't matter. And for deactivation purposes, it doesn't matter. But drivers are reporting that once they drop below 50%, their order volume just tanks. Coincidence? It's not. Here's what I think is really happening. DoorDash is using this AI system to reward compliant drivers who accept everything and penalize selected drivers who usually cherry pick the profitable orders. DoorDash is training us to accept these lowball offers by throttling our order flow when we decline too much. And the most frustrating part is they're not transparent about this whatsoever. There's nothing stating this is exactly what we're doing. There's no clear explanation on how the algorithm works or what factors matters most or how to optimize it for your gain. We're all just guessing and sharing notes in comment sections or even groups we're involved in. One more thing on the algorithm, they're also batching orders more aggressively. Have you noticed this? You might be getting fewer pings because DoorDash is bundling 2 or 3 or even 4 orders together and sending them just to one driver instead of spreading them out. Efficient for them, terrible for the rest of the drivers that are actually sitting just waiting for an order. If someone's getting a triple or a quadruple while you're sitting around, what's the use of that? But DoorDash got it delivered. Okay, this next one is going to make you angry. DoorDash is making record profits while we're sitting in parking lots with literally 0 orders. DoorDash reported 25% revenue growth recently. 25%. They're celebrating. Executives are getting bonuses, and we can't get a ping to our darn phone. Here's the disconnect. DoorDash makes money on every order regardless of what we make. They take their fees from the customers and the restaurant. Whether we make $15 or $5 on that delivery, DoorDash gets their cut no matter what. So from a corporate perspective, having more drivers costs them honestly nothing. In fact, it improves their service because delivery times actually go down. But for us, more drivers means less income per person. And let's talk about base pay. Well, DoorDash over the years has completely kept decreasing and lowering base pay in all of our markets. Orders that used to start at $3 are now at $2, maybe $2.50 depending on your market. It's $2 in my market. They are relying on tips to make up the difference, but customer tipping hasn't increased the compensation. But customer tipping hasn't increased to compensate. In fact, if you go onto DoorDash app that the customers use right now, I'm telling you, do this experiment in your own market because it was eye-opening in mine. Just make up an order for over $100 and see what the suggested tip is. Anything over $100 in my market, they suggest 10%. You know what it used to be just a year ago? I'm just going to leave it at that. It's scary that DoorDash has lowered the suggested tip for the customer. That's why we're not seeing a lot of these big, huge orders any longer. Customer ordering patterns have changed and not in our favor. So after everything happened a couple of years ago, so people are ordering less frequently, right? Inflation hit everyone's wallet, and delivery fees are often the first thing people cut from their budget. The customers who are still ordering, many of them are tipping less and not at all because they're also feeling the economic squeeze. I'm also seeing more customers using DashPass, which is great for them, but changes the economics for us. DashPass customers often order smaller amounts more frequently, which means low value orders in the system. And here's something most drivers don't think about: restaurant partnerships. DoorDash has been pushing restaurants to use their own delivery drivers for certain orders. So some of the orders that used to come to us are now going to restaurant employees, less orders in the pool for independent contractors. Lunch and dinner rushes aren't what they used to be either. Orders are spread throughout the day, which sounds good, but it actually means less predictable income and more waiting around. So what can you actually do about this? Here's my honest advice. 1, multi-app. I've said this for years and I'm going to continue to say it. Run Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart, whatever apps are available in your area simultaneously. When DoorDash is slow, flip to other apps. That way you're not losing money and you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. 2, know your market. Test different zones. Test different times. Testing is honestly the key to really adapting in this market. The algorithm might be hurting you in one zone, but it might be fine in another one. 3, track everything. Track your dollars, how many hours you work, wait times. Data will tell you what's working and what's not working. If you don't want to really track it, honestly, keep it up here in your brain. So that way you start to notice patterns. DoorDash is really big on working with patterns until you actually notice what's happening. 4, adjust your acceptance strategy. I'm not saying accept everything, but I've been platinum for years. But understand that the algorithm has changed, and find your own balance between profitability and order volume. I have tested it, I have gone down, and the order volume is night and day from platinum to below platinum to 50%. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm never telling you how to run your own business or how to work the DoorDash app, but there is a reality behind it. And 5, consider other gig apps entirely. Catering apps, grocery delivery, rideshare. Diversify your income streams. Have multiple streams of income coming in. Look, I am not going to sugarcoat this. DoorDash isn't what it used to be. The golden days of easy money are just over. But understanding why your orders disappeared is the first step into adapting to the new DoorDash app and the way they're doing things. Drop a comment and let me know what's happening in your market. Are you oversaturated? How many minutes or even hours are you waiting in between orders? Let's compare notes with each other, because this is how we know what's happening in each of our markets. I do a lot of DoorDash videos, and you might be looking for more videos to watch. I'm going to suggest this one up next, and I'll see you over there.